everyone, and welcome to Thelma's podcast. I hope all of you are all right. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. All right. So today I have the pleasure of having as a guest Tim Williams. He is an artist, yeah, and he's gonna tell us more about his journey into that. Also, today I had the pleasure of interviewing Frank DeAngelis, the principal that was present during Columbine. Anyway, that in a moment, okay? All right. So anyway, I'm waiting for Tim, an artist. He's going to talk to us about his journey into art. He's also going to talk to us about, the way he let his mind and heart, really take him to a place where he creates beautiful art. All right, let me see if I can have him because he said he's never done a live before. Okay, so now on your Friday so far. Yeah, wait, let me see. Yes, yes. Team. Ok. Oh, Noémie, ça va? Ce live, c'est en anglais. Okay, this live is in English. But if you want to see French, Spanish, or Portuguese, go to What Would You Like to Know? Yes, Tim. Yes, he's never done a live before. Let's see if it works. It is going to work. Work. Sorry, I just. Okay. Come on. Yo. Nice. I don't know why he's doing that. Instagram need to fix it. If somebody ask permission, like, it should happen. Hello.
Hello,
How
hello,
are
hello. I can
you,
see
Tim?
I'm very well. I've been working all day, so I must apologize. I've been working since about 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm pretty good though. I'm pretty good. How are you
I'm
today? You okay?
great, thank you. I was gonna say if that makes you feel better. Usually I get to work around 6:30, 7 o'clock, so I feel exactly what you're feeling. Yes? So
Perfect.
introduce yourself to us, please.
Okay, well, my name's Tim Williams. I'm a artist. I specialize in digital art, so I create most of the art that I work with through a computer system. I've been working with graphics and different forms of art for probably about 30 years. I started off many years ago when I moved to America. I'm originally from Manchester.
Uh, 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 uh. Tim, Tim, Tim. It's embarrassing. Sorry about this, Tim. Can you
Yes,
hear
we're
me?
back again.
So you're
Sorry,
from Manchester.
originally from Manchester, yes, for many moons ago, but I've been kind of traveling around the world for the last kind of 30 years of my life, a bit of a gypsy.
Listen, again, Tim, we have similarities. I was born in Portugal. I
Okay?
grew up in Switzerland, and I live in here. My students call me a gypsy, and I'm like, yes, I'm a gypsy. It's
Yeah, I'm
funny
a,
how we have similarities, Tim.
yeah, I'm a bit of a gypsy. But I've always liked to travel, though. I mean, it's really helped with my art as well. I mean, you get so many different experiences. You meet different people, different food, different languages. And everywhere you go, it inputs into the back of your mind, and when you're actually creating art, it subliminally comes out. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's traveling is very important as far as I'm concerned.
Amazing. So, Tim, I really have to say, I love your art. I don't know how we started to speak, but I remember this. I looked at the things that you do. I said, I need to contact this person because I feel like your art, I feel like it's more than a portrait. I feel like it speaks to you. I feel like there's something special on it. I feel like you bring alive those portraits that you make. Can you explain the process? How does it work?
Well, it starts with a thought, really. A lot of my work I started many, many months ago. And I've got I wouldn't call it a good habit or a bad habit. I start pieces, I put them down, and sometimes you're just not ready for them. Sometimes you don't really get the inspiration. You start off with a piece and it just doesn't kind of work. Sometimes it does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I can start a piece in the morning, I can finish it in the afternoon. But most of the time it doesn't happen that way. So I've got probably about 50 or 60 pieces that are half finished.
Oh,
So
wow.
I go back to them, and I think sometimes the space in time really works. It gives you a better. This time I look at it and I know what's wrong, and I can just okay, I know exactly what to do. And fortunately, I have the technical skills to be able to execute. You see, it's not always about having the technical skills. You can be the best painter in the world. You can be the best artist in the world, but if you're not seeing the end product, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll never get to it. You've got to visualize that end product first of all. And a lot of the times, if you're halfway through, it makes it easier sometimes to stand back and take a good look at it and think, right, I know what I need to do to this to take it to the next level. And that's a lot of my process.
That's amazing. So when did you start realizing that you have a gift? Being creative? When?
I try not to use the word gift. There are a lot of very talented people out there that are much, much, much more talented than me. I mean, I look at some pieces of art from a technical standpoint and from a creative standpoint and go, wow, now that's talent. I learned the technical way. I went to galleries. I looked at pictures. I wanted to understand the process of how they actually came up with that piece of art. And I started using software because I was never a painter. I could never pick up. So software really kind of helped me. I could kind of create scenes, then build on top of them. And if I got it wrong, I could pull it all back off again. I could save things, which it's not easy to do as a normal painter. So I can create a scene and I can save that scene and I can change that scene slightly as well. So software, it's, I wouldn't like to call it cheating because it's a different kind of art. We're digital artists. Yeah. I mean, I've got the maximum amount of respect for guys that actually paint, but it's a completely different set of skills. So, I slowly but surely started to realize that that I could do this when somebody actually said to me one day, I'd like to buy that off you. And it was the first time I'd ever actually had a person actually want to buy something. And that was the day I realized, and that was probably about 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, so I was working, I did a lot of work in the graphics world for clients. It was never really my creative work. It was a client saying that they wanted a website designing or they wanted some graphics done for a specific job. Yeah, no problem. I was paid for that. But it's different when you're actually creating pieces that nobody's asked for, and then somebody says, yes, I like that a lot, I'm going to buy it off you. That's the day it comes to life, where you've become an artist.
Okay, interesting. So you are just an artist, so basically are you making a living out of your art?
Yes. I mean, I'm technically a creative. I've written a couple of books as well. I've just finished a book on which is it's about Donald Trump and his the links of fascism and his the period of time where he was in the presidency. And I've just finished that, and I'm just actually trying to launch that in the States at the moment. But yeah, I'm a full-time artist. I get up every morning. I spend probably an hour reading about other artists. I like to find out what the best artists in the world did and what their processes were and the kind of work, how they process their work, and what the technical things that they did to create certain things. I'm a great lover of people like Monet. I'm a great lover of L.S. Lowry. I love abstract work, so I look at a lot of guys like Jean-Michel Basquiat. And so if you'll see a lot of the influences of these types of people. I mean, I've just done a lot of kind of graffiti pieces that are on my Instagram page. That's very Jean-Michel Basquiat. He was a phenomenal New York graffiti artist. He died very sadly in the late 80s, early 90s. People like Monet. I've got a great love for Monet, the way he's able to blend colors and create amazing backgrounds, and that was really his skill. And then I love people like L.S. Lowry. He was an artist from my city here in Manchester. He was a phenomenal artist who catalogued the working class people during the days of the Industrial Revolution, the mills, and he painted kind of very, you know, people may say very basic, but I wouldn't say that. Matchstick men, matchstick cats and dogs, very little detail, but his ability to place people into scenes, and you could actually, you felt the people. You knew, you know, you look at his pictures, you think, I wonder what that guy's thinking today. I wonder where he's going. I wonder what he's going to do after he's finished this. You know, he brought his art to life. So it's great to be able to take in lots of different aspects of art, and this is why it's really important to be a studier of art. And so I spend, you know, a couple of hours every morning reading and going online and going to some of the big galleries in the world and reading about some of the greatest artists in the world as well.
Did you visit some countries that inspire you for your art? Like, I don't know, I'm just thinking.
Absolutely.
Paris.
I'm a junkie for going into art galleries and looking at old things. So anywhere I go, you know, you don't have to go to any special countries to find great art. I mean, I can walk down the street. Sometimes I'll walk past the alleyway and I'll see a great piece of graffiti. In my city, Manchester, we've got a lot of wall art where the city council have allowed people to actually create great pieces of art on the wall. And I'm the kind, I'd stand underneath them for literally hours at a time, just looking at, you know, the technical side of how they've done it. When I tell you the technical side, how did you actually put that together of that size from being up there? You know, it's not as if you're able to stand back all the time and look at it. It's very, very technically, it's very difficult to do. So the technical side of creating art and the creative side of creating art. If you look around into different places, you'll find that everywhere you go. And as I said, that can range from graffiti, from street art, right up to, you know, classical pieces of art. It's all art. It really doesn't make any difference. There's no distinction. So art's everywhere. So, you know, yes, I travel around, but I don't need to travel to faraway places to see art.
That's fantastic. I like you can hear your passion, that you know your craft. It's not like, oh, you know what, I woke up, I'll pick up, because I tell my students all the time that, frankly, what is it that you want to do? It's not about, you know, it's not about, oh, I want to do that, but what are you doing to go to that point? What are you willing to do? It's a lot of sacrifice. You can't wake up in the morning, oh, I'm going to be a writer, I'm going to write whatever's coming in my mind, or I want to be an artist, I'm going to just paint whatever comes. It doesn't work like that. You have to have.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. It takes time, and you know, you've got to enjoy it. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I can sell pieces of art and I can make a living. I know people who are just as passionate as me and can't sell a thing, but they're still working as artists, maybe not full time. This is something you've got to love doing it.
Yeah.
If anybody told me that I've got to wake up this morning at 5:45 and I've got to sit here till 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning doing something that I didn't want to do 7 days a week, it ain't going to happen. And that art would suffer because of that. But when I sit here, to be honest with you, it can be 10 hours can go by and then I forget I've not eaten.
Seriously?
Yeah. It can, you know, wham, 10, and you know, my daughter will come in sometimes and she'll say, "Why is the room so dark?" I didn't even know the room was dark. I started at 7 in the morning. It was bright in here. It's now quarter to 10 at night, and it's dark, and I've not eaten yet, and I'm still working on this piece. I mean, that's the kind of passion you've got to put into your work, and it's not passion. It's not forced passion. It's, you know, if you're a football player, you love kicking a ball.
Yep, you're right. So I like that you have created some art with celebrities. Has any of them contacted you to say, look, I love
Yes, yeah. Well, that whole thing was I've wanted for a while. I have to step back a little bit here, just give you a little bit of background on this. The reason being was that I have a belief that there is not as much ethnic representation, positive ethnic representation in art. And, you know, it's not saying that all I want to do is paint black people. No,
No.
it's about the next generation of people who grow up. They can't just see people of color and even women in negative positions. Stereotypical, you know, women being secretaries and black people being criminals or whatever. You know, I mean, you know, if I can do my bit to represent both women and minorities, because this is not just a black thing. I do it about women, I do it about gays and lesbians, I do it in lots of different areas of my work, is about minority groups. And what I've tried to do with that collection is create 10 very positive black role models. And it's not so much role model, I think that'd be the wrong way to say. These are iconic people that people of my generation, a little bit younger, remember. And they've actually, we don't see their color anymore. We don't see them as being a black person. We see them as being an iconic member of British society. And that was something I thought was really important to do. So I looked at, you know, 10 people who I believe fell into that category, and I started working on it. And it ranges from sports personalities like Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton, comedian, Sir Lenny Henry. We've got Idris Elba in there, and OBE. We've got the boss of Vogue magazine, the editor. We have Frank Bruno, the boxer. So there's just, you know, a myriad of these great black iconic figures who have really, really worked very, very, very hard in their craft to rise to the top of what they do. And I just thought it was important to recognize them. And that's what that was about.
Listen, me, I love, you know, Sir Trevor McDonald.
Sir Trevor McDonald, yeah, he's one of my guys.
Thank you, thank you.
It was important because when I was a child, we had a couple. My grandmother was very focused on education, and she, at 10 o'clock, it was always bedtime for me. But she gave me a choice. She said, "You can stay up till 10:30 if you watch the news."
Good, good.
So I stayed up till 10:30 every night, and Trevor McDonald read the news. And slowly but surely, I became politically aware, worldwide aware, because of this guy, Trevor McDonald, and because it got me half an hour to stay up every night later.
But also to watch the news.
To this day, I am a news addict. While I'm working, I have the news on in the background.
That's amazing.
And all because of Sir Trevor McDonald and the extra half an hour that he gave me every night.
Yeah.
So I thought I owed it to him to be one of my 10 iconic black men.
It's the icon. I remember the first time I came to this country, that was early 90s.
Right.
I watched the news. And the thing is, I don't know if you're familiar with Switzerland. You don't, at the time, you know, you don't, early 90s, you don't see black presenters. You don't, in fact,
well, you didn't see them very often in Britain at that time either.
And I was like, I was telling my mom, I said, this guy, and every time I used to come to England, I was looking forward to watch him in the news. I told my mom, I said, one day I'll give anything to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's
when I graduated from uni, I met the guy, and can you imagine? I messed up. I said, I'm a fan of your what did I say to him? I'm a fan of your films. Instead of saying I'm a fan of him, anyway. So I messed up. But I know one day I'm going to get in to see him again, God willing. But seriously, this is somebody that I love, that painting that you did.
Wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I that's one of my faves, actually. It's it was a very interesting journey putting those all together, because I needed to make them all quite different. I needed to also also kind of represent the person that I was doing, I wasn't really that bothered about the physical attributes of them looking too similar, even though most of them actually are quite good from it. But that wasn't the point. It wasn't about making them look exactly like, because I've done them quite contemporary. There's paint splashes, there's, you know, faces are all kind of a little bit messed up, but that's the way I like to paint, because in its truest sense, a piece of art isn't really, I tell people all the time, I'm not a photographer. Don't ask me to make a picture that looks exactly like a photograph would. If you want a photograph, go and speak to a photographer. He'll do a much better job than I will. What I believe, it's the representation of who that person is, how I see that person, and it can be completely different from a photograph. And what, you know, that's again one of the great things about art. It's your interpretation, and you can only hope that people actually enjoy that interpretation. That's all you can do.
That was amazing. Well done for that. But do you have a lot of clients? I suppose you do, because this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, you know, the great thing about the internet is that I can put my work out there. You know, I still need to promote myself. I still need to work hard to keep, you know, there are weeks when I don't sell anything. You know, it does happen, you know. But fortunately enough, you know, I've managed to position myself where if I sell a couple of pieces here and there, I mean, I sell different values of art as well. It all comes down to how many, you see, because I work inside a computer, I don't have a physical painting at the end of the day. So what I do, I create limited edition prints, and I use a very high-end printer that makes absolutely beautiful prints, and the quality of the paper is phenomenal. I mean, once it's in a frame, it actually looks like a painting. They come out beautifully. But I sell based upon the rarity, and what I mean by that is if I create a piece, sometimes I'll make 100 copies of them. So I'll say 100 editions. They're the cheapest products I make, so I'll sell them for around £250 a time. But we've got 100 of them to sell. I don't print them all out at the same time. I just print them one at a time when the clients actually buy them. So we sell them at around £250. They're the most common products that I sell. Then we have a 50 product. So again, we only make 50 of these. So you can see they're a little bit rarer. So people are buying them based upon the fact that they're a little bit rarer. No one else is going to have one of these type of thing. So we sell them for about £370. And then I make individual, well, one of 5 pieces. We sell them for about £800. This is where the collectors are. Like all of the pieces that are for the iconic black men, they'll all be one of 5 pieces. So they will purely be for collectors. I mean, most people don't want a picture of Trevor McDonald in the house. You know, it's not the average painting to sell. But there are people who are news collectors, people who collect memorabilia of the news at 10. Yeah. That's a person who would buy that picture. And we sell them for, you know, around £800. And then sometimes we get people, which I've got a couple at the moment, of people who want me to just do a piece for them, one piece. And that really depends how much money the person's got.
That's it.
It depends who the client is, should we say.
That's amazing. I like that you are not only are passionate about art, you are also somebody that is making a living out of it. So I don't know what to say to you, but I know you're gonna keep on going. I love the fact that I saw your Instagram. You have so many things there. Every time I go there, I'm like, oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. I like this. I don't know what to say, but please keep up the amazing, excellent work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop working. It's a passion of mine now, and you know, I just really enjoy it, and it's great to get feedback as well. You know, when people like yourself are saying, because it's a very lonely. I don't like to use the word lonely. It sounds like I'm feeling sorry for myself, but it is quite a lonely world when you're an artist, because you're working on your own. You come up with a piece of work. You never really know how that piece of work is going to be received.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, sometimes I love a piece and nobody else seems to like it. You know, I just say, okay, no big deal. Shit happens. Yeah. So, sorry, things happen.
Exactly.
And But then sometimes it's quite the opposite. Sometimes you make a piece and, you know, you think, eh, but it becomes the piece that everybody likes.
Yeah.
And, you know, so you never really quite know. But all you can do is trust your judgment and trust the fact that you think you've got a good eye. And after a few years of doing this, your eye gets better. Your technical skills as well as your creativity get better. And slowly but surely, you know, you start to have faith in what you believe is a good piece and what you believe is not such a good piece.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, any high-profile clients, can you tell us?
Well, high-profile clients don't generally like being spoke about. But yes, we're doing some work. I mean, the Black Icon series has spurned some, let's just say it's spurned some high-end clients, because we've done some work in there for some quite notable people. And there have been people within that group who have brought me in and said, yes, we'd like you to do some work for us. And we've donated a few of those pieces to their foundations as well, because there's 10 pieces, well, there's 9 pieces. I haven't quite done the 10th yet. So we've donated one of, well, we've given six of the individuals have a charitable foundation behind them. So we have donated one to each of those organizations as an auction piece. So that's kind of got me into bed a little bit with those people, and from there we've had some additional conversations, which I'm, you know, it's not really right for me to talk about that at this point in time. You will see when the art is released.
Oh, I can't wait. So to be continued, basically. But
yes,
very much thank you so much, Tim, right, for your time, because I know time with you is quite precious. I mean,
well, I'll be going back to work as soon as we finish this.
But what would be your main piece of advice to young people that want to do what you do? So mixing art.
I would first of all say to everybody, try to get as much experience in as many things as humanly possible. You know, don't tie yourself down. You know, if you're a football player, you can't live a life of only wanting to play football. You've got to get lots of life experience. And not only will it help you in anything that you do in life, because a lot of the time you're going to be doing things and you think, I'm studying history. I'm never going to use history in my life. Wrong. I'm studying maths. I'm never going to use anything like this in my life. Wrong. All of these things that you're learning as you start to get older, they all start to make sense. Maybe you don't need trigonometry in this world, but you know, the process of learning how to do trigonometry will be a process that you can use in other things in life. So I would just say to any young person, you've got to try as many things as possible. You know, try and travel. Try and meet people and keep your eyes open. You know, there's so much amazing stuff all around us. Try looking up. And I talk about this quite because I'm a real serious architecture fan. And I live in a city, Manchester, that has phenomenal architecture. But what we do is we keep our eyes at this level all the time. Try looking up and spend a day looking at things that you didn't usually look at. And you will find a completely different perspective of things. And as an artist, you need to find new perspectives. You need to be looking at things, not in the way you've always looked at them every single day of the week, in a new way. And looking up is a fantastic way of doing that. It's a brand new world up there, you know. And so, you know, that's what I'd say. You know, keep your eyes open. It's very important. Try as many different things as you can. If you want to do something, you know, don't just focus on that one thing. Try as many things as possible. Later on in life, they'll all come together, and you'll find that you're much more of a whole person rather than a person who all you know how to do is kick a football.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's amazing. I'm going to say I love that advice. You know, so as an artist, it's about opening your eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Opening your mind, your eyes, opening pretty much everything.
Heart, your soul, yeah, your everything. I love that you give your all. And honestly, I'm not going to retain you longer because it looks like you're going to do some more art. But I am going to be commenting, all right? But I don't feel like judging you. I just want to say, look, I love what you do. I love this piece of art, whatever. just some positives. Okay, I really love what you do. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, if any of the young people, send them my Instagram page. So if any of them want to reach out to me or anything like that, feel free to have them come and visit me on there. Okay.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
Take care now. Bye bye.
Bye bye.